think you'll give your guys a lesson on the history of this series, just to give you some knowledge of that?
You know, around Nebraska, you don't have to tell people much because everybody hears everything. So I'm sure the guys will be hearing about it. We'll probably talk about it a little bit. This is a special rivalry, but I'm sure the guys will be inundated with it this week.
Do you have a favorite Nebraska-Oklahoma game as a kid?
Yeah, I don't know. I remember coming to a bunch of them, driving from O'Neill or being here in Lincoln or driving from McCook to come see the games, and going to the games when I was a little boy around Thanksgiving was a special deal. So I've seen a lot of them, been a part of a lot of them.
After the game, you talked about that sort of base running game and wanted it to take off a little bit more. When you kind of watch it going back, how much of it's, you know, the trenches stuff and how much of it's the running backs, a combination?
Yeah, it's a combination. I just say we got to be a little more consistent. It's one guy here or there on some plays. It's missing a hole on another play. And they had the box packed, so it made it a little tough. But we still need to be able to pop a few more of those, and it's got to be a collective effort. Tight ends, running backs, offensive line, receivers.
Did you like what Gabe showed in his second half, kind of popping off some runs?
Yeah, the thing I liked the best is he looked like he was running with a little bit of attitude, like he was going to make it happen. He was going to find a hole and get us yards, and we need an aggressive attitude, including in the running back room.
You're talking about the offensive line and a group that hasn't, some of them play together, but how much of it is about getting those guys really on the same page, and then how do you walk the line of, you know, maybe working somebody else in or thinking about that when it's a group that needs to also play together?
No, we got to grow as a unit, and that unit might be 5 guys, it might be 7 guys, it might be 8 guys. We're going to put the best guys out there. If we need to rotate, we'll rotate. More than anything, I think they need to stop thinking as much as they're thinking and just come off the rock and move people. But again, it wasn't all the offensive line. We missed a few cuts. Tight ends missed a couple times. We would have had some bigger runs, and receivers missed a couple times. So it's a group deal, and was good enough to win Saturday, but we got to keep getting better.
Has Teddy Prohaska worked his way into a conversation of playing more?
Yeah, Teddy's in the conversation. He's improving every day, and he's got a big upside. So we'll see how quickly we feel like he's ready to go in and contribute.
What did you think of just the way he came in, his attitude, not only in high school, but once he got here, just the way he plays?
Yeah, I couldn't believe how big he got, how fast he got big when he got here. He's really athletic for his size. He's learning. Hopefully he comes around sooner rather than later.
How do you manage the 4 game then with him? Do you just kind of take it one game at a time, then after 4 you have to kind of make a decision?
Yeah, with some guys, we're going to hold the 4 games. Other guys, we're going to play them as we need them and make a decision as we get closer to the 4 games.
The receiver tight end depth was getting tested Saturday. Do you feel like some of those guys could pop back in the league?
Yeah, I hope so. We were down a bunch of guys. Honestly, a bunch of our best players on Saturday. You looked up in the third quarter, and Oliver and Omar and Austin and Xavier and Travis, and none of those guys were playing. And thought the guys that came in did a really good job, played hard. But those are some of our most talented skill guys, and we need them back. So I know they're working hard to get back on the field.
Could you say what the deal was with Austin? Was that a head situation?
Yeah, he landed his head a little bit on the turf and got a little dizzy, and hopefully he recovers quick.
Generally speaking, by what point in the week do you kind of want to know who Adrian's going to be throwing to, or do you take that all the way up till kickoff?
I mean, you want to know on Monday, but sometimes you don't have that luxury. We want guys to have practiced if we're going to play them, and there's some unique circumstances where you have veterans that have been there, done that, and if you get them back at the end, that's probably good enough. But guys need to train in order to perform well, and we want them back as soon as possible.
Preston of living alone, I know. Is any of those guys ruled out?
No.
It's kind of going back to managing red shirts and so forth. When you're making the decision, when the guy's approaching 4 games, about whether to keep going or to stop, how do you manage that as far as how much do you talk to the player about that? How much input does he get into that decision?
Yeah, if the decision's easy, there isn't much of a conversation. If the decision's a little harder, we involve the player and sometimes the player's family to decide what they want to do if we get to that point. But most kids want to play, and if they're going to get significant time, they want to play. if it's going to be a play here or there, it's probably not smart to use up the year.
How much of a difference can Travis make for you when he does get back in the run game? Because he's got a reputation for being a darn good blocker.
Yeah, we get spoiled with guys like Austin and Travis, and I thought that, again, those guys that played, battled. Chris has been playing a little bit hurt too, and then we're playing Borkacher and Chancellor Brewington that just moved positions. So I can't say enough about the job that those guys did, but we're looking forward to having our guys back too.
How challenging is it, Scott, a receiver, if you have to look at, or if you're going to look at some younger guys who haven't necessarily been running your stuff in practice, to then say, come up and give us some depth, add some depth, we might need you this week. Is that a transition that those guys can make in 1 week if needed?
Yeah, I mean, that experience helps, and so we've already been playing some young guys to play more young guys. You're just going to be playing more guys without experience, but if we get to the point we have to bring somebody up, we will. I think there's several guys that are ready, and we'll see how the health and depth work out this week.
I know you have to sometimes tread lightly with the officiating stuff, but on the offensive PI stuff, the two calls, is there anything that can be done differently, or is it no?
I don't think the one Saturday we could do anything different, no.
Hey, Scott, what went into the decision to, I guess, put your defense on the field first instead of the offense against Buffalo?
I trust the defense. We talk about trying to score at the end of the first half and getting the ball back in the second half, and I think the wind was blowing. We could kick it through the end zone, and we wanted to put the defense out there and have the possession in the second half. And that probably won't always be that way, but the first couple weeks we felt like that was the right decision.
What are your early impressions on Oklahoma, specifically their quarterback?
It's a talented team. Wow, you turn it on and the speed just pops out right away. Every position, the size and speed of the guys. So really encouraging our guys to execute the same way we have been and improve that, but try to do it at absolute fast as possible, because I know the speed of Oklahoma is going to be a little different than what we've seen the last couple of weeks.
And Rattler, what makes him so special?
Yeah, he can make every throw. Really nifty. They do a great job coaching their quarterbacks, and they got some super talented ones. And he's surrounded by really good O-line and a lot of weapons on the perimeter and in the backfield. So it's a formidable opponent for sure.
Did you know much about Grinch before he went there, and what do you make of what they've done on defense over the last couple of years?
Yeah, they're tough to figure out. He does a good job mixing things up, disguising things. Can't always tell what coverage they're in. Their line moves and stunts a lot. It kind of creates chaos on defense is the best way I can say it. I've known Alex for quite a while. Good guy, good coach.
Is their personnel, does it look like anything you see in the Big Ten? I mean, athletically, I'm sure Ohio State comes to mind, but beyond that, anything you see on OU that's similar?
Yeah, I mean, they've got about as good a player as there is in the country at almost every position. But I don't want our guys to back down to that, and I don't think they will. Our guys are really excited to play. We know what kind of challenge there is in front of us. We know what kind of team we're playing. It's a great team. Our guys are excited about the opportunity.
How have you seen Adrian handle moments like this where maybe he makes the play or he presses too much? How do you walk that line between knowing you got to do something but not doing the wrong thing?
I haven't seen him press really the last couple of weeks. In fact, the more we can take off his plate, the better. I think that there's a couple times when he probably could have chose to keep the ball, but it's tough to make that decision when you just ran for 76 yards. He's made some unbelievable plays for us the last 2 weeks and really lifted the team. So we need to keep playing well around him and expect the same type of play out of him.
Have you seen kind of a growth in his, the way that he approaches the game, the way he thinks about it, maturing?
Absolutely. See improvement in the way he's leading, growth in the way he's playing, decisions he's making. He's being really good with the ball right now, making sure he's not putting the ball in bad positions or risking turning it over. So if he can create the type of plays he creates and not make those bad plays, we've got a heck of a player on our hands.
Scott, so you've grown up watching these games and living in person around TV. Now you're on the sideline, you're going to be coaching, and what's that like to circle back?
Yeah, this was my favorite game of the year growing up, my entire life. Just like every Nebraska fan, I think. And I was lucky enough to play in 2 of them. One of them was Coach Osborne's 250th victory. one of the best rivalries in sports. It's kind of a shame it went away, but it's going to be special to be a part of it in a different role.
Does it feel weird to say this would be an SEC Big Ten matchup in a couple of years from now?
Yeah, I don't want to get into all that.
Do you have to tell your guys, like, this is just another week, or does it feel different? Does this week feel different?
We're going to prepare like it's any other week. That's what we do. But I think the emotion's going to take care of itself. I don't think there's going to be a lot of motivational speaking that's going to need to be done. These guys know how good a team we're getting ready to play, and they're going to be in the spotlight nationally. So I think the guys are excited, and we've gotten a lot better over the last 2 weeks. We need to keep that going and keep improving on the things that we haven't done well enough.
Special teams take on even more added significance when you play a tournament like this?
Absolutely. Turnovers and special teams. If you're going to beat a team that's really talented, you gotta probably win those. Make a big play on special teams, get a turnover here and there. We'll see if we're up to the challenge.
Other questions for Coach?
Thanks, guys.